Lance Corporal John MacDonald died at Gallipoli on 28 June 1915. He was 19 years old, and though he wasn't to know it, he was my great-uncle. Nothing in his life would have prepared John MacDonald for death in faraway lands. He was born in a small Scottish village near Perth and attended the Dollar Academy, where he met his best friend, Charles Beveridge. They left school together at 14 to look for work. The two friends moved to Glasgow, where they found jobs with the North British Locomotive Company. When war broke out in Europe in the summer of 1914, Beveridge and MacDonald enlisted together with the Scottish Rifles, also known as the Cameronians. The impatient recruits of the 8th Scottish Rifles spent the autumn months in training, envious of other battalions that preceded them to battle in France. Only in April 1915 was the first 8th Battalion called into service, not in France, but in Ottoman Turkey. MacDonald and Beveridge said their final farewells to friends and family on 17 May 1915, when their battalion set off for war. They sailed to the Greek island of Lemnos, which served as the staging post for British and Allied forces before deployment to Gallipoli. As they drew into the island's port of Mudros on 29 May, 1 month after the initial Gallipoli landings, they passed a vast armada of warships and transports lying at anchor. The young recruits would have been awestruck by the dreadnoughts and super-dreadnoughts, some of the greatest ships afloat. Many bore the marks of heavy fighting in the Dardanelles, their hulls and funnels holed by Turkish artillery and ground batteries. The Scots had 2 weeks to acclimatise to the eastern Mediterranean summer before going into battle. In mid-June they sailed out of Mudros harbour, cheered by soldiers and sailors from the decks of the ships at anchor. Only those who had been to Gallipoli and knew what lay before the fresh-faced young recruits refrained from cheering.